What are the signs of a good man to marry? Are there ways she can tell he's a marriage material? Are there any ways? The way there's a lot of conversations around women's marriageability. I mean, it just takes you 5 seconds to stop a guy and ask, what would be your ideal woman? At least, what does your mother say or your friends say? And they'd come back with dozens of things which would qualify for her to be marriageable. All right. And there's a whole conversation around, is she a marriage material? Seldom do you hear that conversation about men. And that's what I want us to talk about today. What would make a man material worthy of marriage? Now that we are talking about materials, my name is Eric, and this is Eric Stories. Thank you so much for choosing yet again to hang out with me. I hope your new week has begun well and you had a fantabulous weekend. I did. I thank God. I'm very excited about a whole lot of things. God is working. I'm very, very excited. Is it your first time here? Is it? Karibu sana. Please make yourself comfortable. Eric's story is about two individuals, that being you and me, and we try and make sense of adult conversations in the quest to just learn and become better. I don't speak at you, I speak with you, and I value all of your mind and perspective about issues of adult life. So share with me on the comment section or even on my DM. I love to hear your perspective. It makes me grow as well. And I have a nice, lovely gadget. I told you I'm going to make you very happy. So let me welcome you. All right. So I came down with ideas about these conversations again from some of my reading, but also a lot from men I admire. Maybe not necessarily because of their money or their big fat bank account or what they drive. No, none of that stuff. But their essence, the way they've carried themselves. A wonderful book I've read, I would highly recommend to a man or even a woman, The Measure of a Man by Sidney Poitier. And he talks in depth about what makes a man, because there's a lot of conflict about, in most men's minds at least, about what makes them a man. And that's why some men can decide to chokehold a woman just to demonstrate their strength so that they try maybe to shut them off. And that's not a way to be a man. So a lot of us are conflicted about manhood and what it is that makes us men. Conversation for another day. Be that as it may, what would make a young woman or an older woman who's ready to settle down decide on a man in terms of his marriageability? I put down some of my ideas. I want to share those with you. Let me know what you think. And I hope, if from experience as well, if you've gone through a marriage that you're proud of and you see attributes that would make for a good man, share those with me so that I learn and become worthy, at least material worthy, of being a husband material, for lack of a better term. A dude who is independent and very well capable of being alone. A strong-willed, independent man. I don't think a lot of this is said enough. I don't know if I was reading a research and I shared on my Instagram a while back on my Insta story where women were saying that, babying or nursing or taking care of their husbands was the biggest anti-aphrodisiac, Yet there is a mismatch of expectations in my mind. Every time you hear a lot of women, rather men chatting, there seem to be a big expectation from men's side that they'll be taken care of by their women. Like he'll wake up and find a nicely pressed shirt and a handkerchief and breakfast, and then he'll just go off to work, and he doesn't have to ever go to the kitchen. And so women have been saying, at least from most of my reading, that they don't need somebody they want to take care of. It is not appealing. All right. In fact, I was sharing with a woman friend of mine my finding, and she said that it's absolutely true. The mismatch of expectation is that most men in most African societies expect that women, for lack of a better term, and she used this word loosely, and I was laughing my head off, are horny for taking care of men, and they are not. Most of them aren't. If you are, bless your heart, but they are not. So then a good man who's marriageable then would achieve the opposite by being independent and strong-willed. Well, he doesn't need you to keep him happy or preoccupied. He may want you around, but doesn't need you. People who are needy, needy, like you're going away to the village, how will I eat here? That apparently turns out to be a turn-off to many women. He's not clingy or demanding of your time every time, for instance. He doesn't require constant attention and reassurance. Reassure me, feed me, massage me. It's boring. He is able to plan for now and the future. This is all under independence and a strong-willed brother. He values himself. He's able to say no. He respects himself. All right. He's fully aware of who he is and the things that make him happy. He's goal-oriented. He might not have all the money in the world now. He has some money, not nothing at all, but he has a bigger plan to acquire more. All right. And can give and seek support when needed. Also vulnerable. That's the first point. What do you think? Second thing I think is important, a thoughtful man. This goes a long way. Thoughtfulness, all right? He pays attention to how he treats other people, even more than him paying attention. I think you should pay attention to how he treats other people. You know, it's very easy to be meek and sort of subservient and behave orderly when a man or a woman is dealing with somebody who's senior. Maybe their boss, or maybe their father, or maybe their family member. He'd act in his best form. He'll bring his best representative. And I think if you want to know, in my mind, a guy you want to do life with, maybe you look at how he treats people who are subservient, people who are lower than he is, even service providers. How does he treat a waiter, say, if the meal has delayed? How does he treat the cashier at the bank? How does he treat the security guard? All right? It's very important. It's very, very important. You don't judge them with how they treat people above them. Everybody can feign and laugh at the lamest joke by a rich millionaire. But how they treat people beneath them has a lot to tell about their real story. Okay? So pay attention about how he treats people in their lives who are beneath him. It's great if they treat them well. Right? Because that just, that shows a person's character. It has got nothing to gain from the waiter or the guard, but he's treating them well. All right? So don't make judgment about his good traits towards people who are better than him. More people are beneath him. I think that's important. All right? A man who is self-confident, it goes a long way. If he's self-confident, he's going to stand up for himself. He's going to stand up against bullies. He's going to stand up for you. He would stand up for his family. He's not a wuss. He's not a sissy. He's confident. And confidence is not because he has a nice shirt and a good car. That's amazing. But just, what makes up his manhood? Who is he outside of the things he owns? All right? Who is he outside of everything that he owns and wants to acquire? Is he a confident man? Look out for that. Self-confidence. They can stand up to anything and anyone and really speak their truth. A level-headed man is another one, I think. A man who remains reasonably calm in stressful situations. I mean, if something is driving you nuts, you don't want two people wailing. Someone who is not frustrated by every minor issue. One with strength and maturity to manage their emotions. Yes, it looks like it's so dire, but he has a way to work around it. He's not going to be screaming his head off. No, he's calm and collected. A man who is considerate of both yours and other people's point of view, so they don't shush you or shut you out or disregard your mind. It's very important. What do you think? I think that's something to look out for. Very little is talked about in terms of the character traits of men. At least I don't hear. So we've zeroed it down to maybe just a provision and can he provide, and that's good. Anyone can work hard, make money, and provide. But are they pleasant? Would you hang around them for long? Are they people of integrity? Do they keep their word? Are they faithful? Are they loyal? Are they honest? Those are, I think, important things to look out for that would make a man marriageable. What do you think? What did I miss? add to the list on the comment section. And good evening. I look forward to speaking to you soon. And good night.